Welcome to the first episode of Biome Knowledge. Today we are going to be exploring the temperate deciduous forests. Temperate deciduous forests are located in Eastern America, Canada, Europe, China, and Japan. A temperate deciduous forest is a biome that contains many deciduous trees which drop their leaves in the fall. Our explorer today will be Abhishek Naka as he will journey throughout the forest in New Jersey, United States.
Hey guys, I'm Abhishek Naka, and I don't know what to expect, but my friends at home will be able to help me out.
Before going to the forest, Abhi will have to find out how the weather and climate is.
Wow, it looks like there's a chance it might rain. Speaking of rain, temperate deciduous forests have a wet environment. Following rainforests, temperate deciduous forests are the second rainiest biome. The average yearly precipitation is about 30 to 60 inches, 75 to 150 centimeters. This falls as precipitation throughout the year. However, in the wintertime, this precipitation falls as snow. Following rainforests, temperate deciduous forests are the second rainiest biome. Temperate deciduous forests can also get fairly cold at about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, which is the average temperature. Summers in the temperate deciduous forest are mild and average about 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. Winter temperatures, on the other hand, are often well below freezing.
Hey, what is that? That looks like poison ivy.
In fact, that is poison ivy, and make sure you stay away from it. Poison ivy can cause lots of itchiness right at the point of contact. Poison ivy also spreads easily because it is a vine that grows around trees and other organisms like trees that have a hairy structure. Poison ivy also has leaves that are in bunches of trees that are smooth, wavy, lobed, or toothed. Some other plants you might encounter are Atlantic poison oak, which is similar to poison ivy in looks but generally grows more upright and has hairs on both surfaces of the leaf. Poison sumac is very similar to the poison oak because it has the same structure and function. Other plants in this region include lichen, moss, ferns, wildflowers, and other small plants that can be found on the forest floor. Shrubs reside in the middle floor while trees reside in the third level. Some trees may be maple, oak, and birch.
Wow, it really looks like it might rain. I better build a shelter for myself.
Building a shelter may not be the best idea, as a negative major human impact on this biome is logging, conversion of land into agriculture, deforestation for housing development, forest fires, as well as farming. Logging and deforestation are very likely to soon make trees endangered eventually. Forest fires are also extremely horrible because there is a loss of wildlife since millions of trees are burned down. Animals then die due to lack of resources, and soon the species start to become endangered. Farming has a negative impact on this biome because it's a major contributor to water and air pollution as well as deforestation. Make sure to build a shelter out of dead branches so you aren't hurting the environment more. Although there are negative impacts, there's also a positive impact. And a positive major human impact on this biome is that humans have used wind for power in the temperate deciduous forest. This is positive because it cuts back on burning fuel, and burning fuel is a source of air pollution, and it destroys trees and poisons animals, as well as poisons the soil.
Since you said that it might rain, let me tell you about the process of the water cycle. The water cycle of the temperate deciduous forest starts with the evaporation from the ocean, lakes, and rivers. Water vapor also gets into the atmosphere by transpiration. When there's enough water vapor, they then form clouds. When the clouds get too full of water, they let loose of the water through precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, or hail. The water that does not get absorbed into the soil flows downward into the nearest lake or river, and the process starts all over again. The water cycle happens mostly through the stage of transcription, by the process of water evaporation from leaves and going into the atmosphere. The temperate deciduous forest has an abundance of trees and lack and lacks bodies of water. When warm air will rise and then cool, it will cause water vapor to condense into tiny droplets that form clouds in the sky. After precipitation, due to the minimal amount of lakes, most water goes into the soil. The water goes into the roots of the plants and the cycle begins all over again. Here is a graph to show the average precipitation in a temperate deciduous forest.
Now, as you are wandering around, you may notice all the different plants and animals, which brings us to the limiting factors of the temperate deciduous forest. Limiting factors have to do with population growth. Density-dependent factors include sunlight, competition, and predation. Referring to sunlight, this is a density-dependent factor because if a tree is not getting sunlight due to a shadow being casted on it, the population will have changes. This basically means that the population can vary through these factors as opposed to density-independent factors, where these factors aren't related to population and can affect any size of population. Some of these density-independent factors in the temperate deciduous forest are food limitation, climate extremes, and pollutants in the environment.
Is that a bear?
Yes, it is. Now slowly step away. The black bear has evolved to thrive in the temperate deciduous forest environment. To keep warm in the winter, it wears a thick coat with multiple layers of fur. Long claws of the black bears assist them in climbing trees. Because black bears frequently reside in hollow wooded trees, this is an important adaptation. Another animal you might find is a coyote. The coyote's thick fur serves it to keep warm during the winter. Its hue fits well with the surroundings, giving great camouflage for the coyote. Coyotes are crafty hunters who can run up to 40 miles per hour to catch their prey, and they generally hunt in groups of 2 or 3 to maximize their chances of catching their prey. These adaptations are very beneficial to the coyotes, making them some of the more dangerous predators found in these forests. Another common animal that is in these forests are the red squirrels. Red squirrels adapt to their environment by keeping warm with their thick fur, hiding in their nests for warmth, conserving food, and employing their brains. The architecture of a squirrel's back legs is another adaptation that is incredibly useful for their lifestyle. Squirrels can spin their hind legs, allowing them to fall from a tree head first. This is useful for avoiding predators, reaching for food, and moving from one tree to another. These were a few animals that can be found in the temperate deciduous forests and the adaptations that they have to make.
Speaking of all the plants and animals, let's take a look at the food chain in this biome. The first level in the chain is the primary producers, which include lichen, moss, ferns, wildflowers, various types of trees, and other small plants. Next is the primary consumers. The primary consumers in these temperate deciduous forests are small mammals like the red squirrel, salmon, deer, elk, and birds. The secondary consumers are shrew, amphibians, weasels, raccoons, and bigger types of birds. After the secondary consumers comes the tertiary consumers, who are almost at the top of the chain. Animals at this level are the lynx, wolves, bears, and cougars. Now there is also something called an apex predator, which is at the very top of the food chain. In this region, the tertiary consumers are also the apex predators, and the reason being that they are at the top.
The energy that the organism uses in this biome is quite important. Here's a diagram that shows an energy pyramid. The primary producers use 100% of energy by receiving it from the sun and from the decomposing of the organisms in the level above. About 90% of all energy given off is heat. Primary consumers use about 10% of energy, while secondary users use about 1% of energy. Tertiary consumers use about 0.1 of energy, and the apex predators use 0.01 of energy. The reason for energy going down as the levels go up is because the amount of organisms in each level narrows down each time.
Wow, this is exciting. The temperate deciduous forest has a lot more to it than I thought there was. I don't think I got far enough away from that bear,